Nothing drains the life out of a founder quite like a roadmap that feels more like a chainsaw tearing through every ounce of energy and will. Imagine staring at a sprawling list: projects, features, pivots, milestones, each one yelling for attention, each one promising a miracle that somehow never materializes. The frustration, the constant stress, the endless juggling act. It's the slow death of a dream, right in front of your eyes. It's crushing, because every item that doesn't move the needle feels like a little betrayal to what the mission truly is. There's this gnawing feeling, like no matter how fast you run, how many hours you bleed, the horizon just keeps retreating. You know this pain. The sleepless nights spent agonizing over prioritization, the overwhelming disappointment when things don't launch on time, the sinking feeling that maybe the why behind your work is getting buried under endless noise. And deep down, there's this voice, the one that whispers, "Have you lost the essence of what really matters?" Because that's the real problem. Most roadmaps aren't roadmaps to victory. They're blueprints for burnout. They're traps designed by fear of missing out, of losing investors, or just the terror of being irrelevant. Here's the brutal truth. The roadmap as it is, the bulky, overstuffed, sprawling beast, might be the biggest enemy holding you hostage. Not the market, not your team, not the competition. It's the weight of trying to do everything at once, the paralysis of choice wrapped up in ambition. This massive list of things to do, each pulling your focus in 100 different directions, steals the power from your creative engine. Every founder knows that focus is survival. But here's where the madness hits. Focus feels impossible when you're shackled to a roadmap stuffed with half-baked dreams and shiny distractions that don't matter. Imagine ripping out half of that roadmap. I mean literally deleting it, not just pushing it down the list, not hiding it in some folder called Future Ideas, but deleting it for good. No regret, no guilt, just gone. What happens then? At first, panic might try to grip you, whispering that you're throwing away the future, that you're giving up too soon. But listen, that fear is a trap itself, because stripping back that roadmap isn't about giving up. It's about reclaiming power. It's saying, we choose less, but better. We choose what actually moves the needle. We are done wasting energy on the fluff. Now, let's be clear. This isn't some fluffy productivity hack you read on a random blog or some trendy quote from a business guru. This is raw, life-saving strategy for anyone who's watched their startup turn into a glorified to-do list and felt their soul crack under the pressure. It's about cutting through the noise until only the pure fire of what really matters burns bright and visible. It's about turning the entire company's focus onto the mission and not on busy work disguised as progress. Why does this work? Because focus is power. When half the roadmap disappears, you're left with raw, unfiltered clarity. That clarity is the antidote to confusion and distraction. It's this clarity that lets founders say no, really say it, to meetings, to features, to shiny additions that don't matter. And every no is a victory. Every no reclaims time, mental space, and energy, the most precious currency a founder has. Instead of sprinting in 8 directions with no finish line in sight, you're running cold and hungry toward the right finish line. And here's the secret most founders miss. Deleting half the roadmap forces a brutal honesty about what your product actually stands for. You can't hide behind 100 features hoping one sticks. You can't keep chasing shortcuts to traction. You have to own your North Star with ruthless precision, define what your business truly offers, and build only around that. It's a purification of ideas so sharp it leaves no room for second-guessing or hesitation. There is a hidden economy in focus, not in dollars, but in pure momentum. Once you delete half the roadmap, suddenly your team's energy aligns. Instead of being scattered and confused, people get why they're doing what they're doing. They see progress in real time because there is less to do, but what is done with fierce intention. That clarity feeds momentum, which feeds confidence, which feeds better decisions. A cycle so powerful it can turn even the most chaotic startup into a lean, unstoppable machine. But be warned, this kind of ruthless pruning isn't for the faint-hearted or the comfort seekers. It demands letting go of your ego, your attachment to ideas, your fear of missing out. It calls for humility and bravery, for admitting what's not working without excuses, for daring to say, "This doesn't belong here." This is not who we are. Because every roadmap item that survives that surgery must pass the ultimate test. Does this fuel the mission, or does this steal energy from it? And let's talk about the ripple effect on stress. That constant gnawing anxiety founders carry like a second skin. This overload and the chaos it breeds are what crush creativity and break teams. When half the roadmap disappears, guess what happens? Stress levels drop. Decision fatigue eases. Priorities snap into place. And in that space, in that rare sacred space, innovation grows like wildfire. The mind is free to focus on the hardest problems, the boldest ideas, the true breakthroughs, instead of drowning in a sea of trivial tasks that look like progress but are pure illusion. Here's another shocker. Investors are not impressed by a roadmap packed with noise. They want precision. They want impact. They want founders who know what they will do and what they will not do. Because that discipline is the only way to build trust, to build products that last, not smoke and mirrors. When you cut half the roadmap, you signal strength, clarity, and leadership, not weakness. You show you're a founder who has mastered the hardest art of all, focus under pressure. This idea isn't just theory. It's a battle-tested strategy born from founders who refused the blueprint handed to them. The ones who crushed the temptation to chase every shiny idea, who ignored the noise and focused on the few moves that mattered most. Those founders win. They don't just survive, they build legacies. Because in this world, success isn't about doing it all. It's about doing the few things that change everything. So what's the first step? Brutal honesty. Take a red pen, or actually get ruthless with that project management tool. Mark half of your roadmap for deletion. Don't negotiate. Don't rationalize, just delete. Then feel the weight lift, hear the silence and the noise, and feel the fire grow. Trust this pain. It's the pain of evolution. Only when you shed the unnecessary can you become more. Next, ask the question, what exactly is the mission that justifies the roadmap that remains? If it doesn't scream the reason why you wake up every day, it doesn't stay. It's that simple. Then start rallying your team around this trimmed vision. Build rituals where saying no is celebrated as much as any win. Teach the team to defend the mission like their life depends on it, because it does. This is how you build a culture of focus, a fortress against distraction, a team that moves as one in fierce alignment. And here's the hidden bonus. While the world is addicted to endless growth and scale, obsessed with the latest feature or hype, you'll be mastering something far more valuable. Depth. A founder who builds depth, who builds focus, builds resilience. They build a startup that can weather storms, innovate with ferocity, and most importantly, endure. This is not for everyone. This is not for the comfortable, the compliant, or the folks who measure progress by how much noise they generate. This is for those who know, deep inside, that real freedom, true freedom, requires cutting loose what no longer serves. That to become sovereign, a founder must first cut away the illusions of endless possibility and grasp the power of relentless focus. So every time the urge hits to add just one more thing to the roadmap, remember this. Less is not less. Less is more. Less is power. Less is liberation. Less is the battlefield where the fiercest winners are made. If the roadmap feels like an anchor, if the chaos swallows your fire, if every urgent thing only leads to exhaustion, then meet your fight with this. Delete half the roadmap. Own the pain. Embrace the clarity. Reclaim your focus. Because the founder who does this, the founder who commits to less but better, isn't just surviving. They're rewriting the rules. They're reclaiming the edge. They're becoming unstoppable. The true power lies in the cut. The victory is in the focus. And your future? It starts the moment you lose the noise.